How's it going, guys? Cracked Rack here. I have had quite a few people more interested in my haunted explorations and my haunted stories, almost more than anything else. And I probably will be doing another haunted exploration. There's plenty of haunted places in my state that are creepy as hell. But today, I'm going to be making a video discussing some of the more disturbing haunted experiences I've had on various properties. Now, I have had some extremely disturbing experiences. They could all just be psychological. Maybe I was under a lot of stress at the time. I'm willing to accept an explanation that this is all just scientific or psychological, but I don't think it is. Because these experiences are extremely disturbing, and they're not fake. I'm not embellishing anything. I'm not making anything up to sound more interesting. All of these things happened, and if they happened in my mind, so be it. So basically, I did not believe in hauntings about a year ago. I thought it was BS. I totally ignored it. I wasn't scared of anything at all. Well, about 6 months ago, that changed. So I was lighting a cigarette about 6 months ago. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna smoke indoors. Let's light a cigarette right now, like I'm an old man telling a story with a cigar. And I decided to go have a smoke on the back porch, and it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'm smoking on the porch, it's pitch black, and I'm really enjoying myself. I'm like, this is the stuff, okay? All of a sudden, I see what looks like a car headlight shine into my eyes from my left eye. And I just ignored it for a couple seconds. I'm like, okay, whatever, car headlight. But then I actually looked at it. And I know you're gonna think I'm lying or I'm ridiculous here, but I could only explain it as looking like this. It was a translucent, tall, masculine figure without a head, and I can only describe it as, it looked like a textureless human. Had no texture to it, no skin. It was just a translucent, headless, light brown hologram figure. And it was maybe 15 feet away from me. And I only could register it for like 2 seconds because I knew it was super weird, and I instantly was sent into the fight or flight mode because I was like, what is that? And my cat saw it too. She immediately shook her head like, what the hell is that? So I shook my head really hard because I'm like, okay, I'm hallucinating. I opened my eyes, and for about another second, it was still there. And then it walked towards me. It made a very subtle People agreed that that was very disturbing, but I just assumed, okay, you know what? Weird stuff happens in the human brain. So then, months passed, everything was fine. I felt fine, I totally got over that experience. But then, whatever this is, struck again, in the form of sleep paralysis. So, this could just be my mind messing with me. I'll totally accept that explanation, but I went to bed months later, and I went to bed really early in the morning. I went to bed at about 7 or 8 in the morning. So I was really exhausted. And I was laying on my back. Now, if you don't know, laying on your back, especially if you're stressed out, is a surefire way to have a sleep paralysis experience. But I was sleeping, and I woke up around 9. I went pee. I had to pee really bad. I always have to go pee. I have a bladder problem. And I went back into bed, closed my eyes for about 10 minutes, but I just felt something watching me. It felt like somebody was standing over me. So I was like, okay, I gotta open my eyes and see what this is. So I opened my eyes, and on the wall in front of me, about a 20 by 20 foot projection was on the wall. And it was a woman who looked like a corpse. Apparently this is known as the old hag sleep paralysis hallucination, but it looked like my aunt. My aunt, who I love very much, passed away about a decade ago. Actually, 12 years ago at this point. And it was her. It was absolutely her. But she was super deceased, and she looked horrifying. It looked disgusting. There were worms coming in and out of her body and her pores. And she looked at me, and I was absolutely shaking in fear. I was like, what is that? And after a few seconds of looking at this disgusting thing, my aunt goes,
"You don't have to be so hated to be liked, silly."
And I instantly started shaking in fear, and my eyes rolled into the back of my head because I was so scared and I passed out. Now, this could be scientifically explained as sleep paralysis, very, very common, but I find it weird that it talked to me, and I can distinctly, vividly remember every detail about it. I've had sleep paralysis before. I've had very obvious sleep paralysis hallucinations of someone putting a bag over my head and suffocating me and punching me in the face. I've also had the classic sleep paralysis little demon disgusting thing. Go look it up. I've seen that jump on my face, but this did not feel like sleep paralysis at all. So that happened, and I was immediately on high alert. I'm like, okay, there's something really weird with this property. So a couple of days pass, and I go to sleep on my back again. This time, I'm sleeping in the field. It's a big public field. It's pretty safe, and it was really nice weather outside for winter, which is weird. So like, you know what? I'm gonna go take a nap outside on the field. So I laid on a blanket for a couple of hours, and I had a wonderful sleep. I just had the best dreams. Everything was fine. Then I got up, same pattern as last time. I went pee. I went back to bed. All of a sudden, I had one of the worst dreams I've ever had in my entire life, and it was extremely vivid. I could only describe it as a surreal horror movie. Basically, in this dream, I was at my aunt's house, and it was an aunt dream again, and that's why it creeped me out. I had this very vivid, creepy moment where I was with my mom, and we went into my aunt's room, and she had just died. But for some reason, she was mummified, just like the sleep paralysis dream, and she was deceased. But she had just died, which is a very important detail. Me and my mom then took her body, and we took it outside, we put it on the grass, and we lit it on fire. Not as a cruel, malicious act. We lit it on fire as a cremation act, and she was really cremated. As she's cremated and burning, me and my mom are looking at it, just having a very spiritual moment, and Something in the Way by Nirvana is playing. Go look at that song. It's an amazing song, but I don't know why I was thinking about it, because I wasn't thinking about Nirvana, hadn't listened to Nirvana in a long time, and it was vividly playing, Something's in the way, and I da-na-na-na-na-na, as she was burning. And as she was burning, I distinctly remember sand in my mouth. It felt like a clump of sand or cat litter was in my mouth, and I could just feel it come out of my mouth and fly. When I woke up, that dream was so disturbing, I started crying. Not out of sadness, more just like that was such a spiritually weird dream that I am shocked. I'm in shock. A week passes from that, and I was on very high alert. I don't sleep on my back anymore because I'm just so incredibly creeped out by the possibility of having something like this happen again. And I watched an adult movie because, you know, I'm a young man. That's what we do. We watch pornography sometimes. So I watched a pornographic film, and when I was done, I slept because that's what you should do as a man after you're done doing that. You go to sleep. So I was sleeping for a couple of minutes when all of a sudden I distinctly hear in my right ear, Matthew! It was a woman's voice saying that in a very disgusted term, and I immediately jolted awake. I was so disturbed by that I immediately called up some friends and I went and hung out with them because I did not want to be alone for days. And then, a couple of days later, I'm sleeping in my bed. I'm not even sleeping on my back, I'm sleeping down on my stomach, and I hear it again. I started drifting off to sleep before I was jolted awake by Matthew! I was like, ugh! What? And there was no one there. So yeah, those are the bulk of the experiences that I had. Very creepy. I never want to have anything like that ever again. But I actually had another really weird experience a couple of days ago. So I went out at night because I left a phone charger in my car, and it's parked in the parking lot. And I did not want to go out because I'm already super creeped out on this property. I don't like it. I don't like this creepy stuff. But I was like, okay, I'm 24 years old, going on 25. I think I can handle this. So I went outside, and I started walking across the field to go to the parking lot. And it's like 2 in the morning, once again. Now, I was already on high alert. Okay, so that might have contributed to this, what happened. But basically, I started walking towards my car, when all of a sudden I feel what can only be described as a 1 foot long hand. Like the feeling of it, I didn't see it, but I felt it very distinctly. A 1 foot tall hand from the ground wrapped around my ankle, a grown man's strength, and pulled me down. I could distinctly feel the fingers, I could feel it pulling me down, and I immediately I was like, fuck, I was like, screw this, I'm not even gonna get the charger, and I just went back in the house and didn't worry about having an alarm clock on my phone, which made me late for what I needed. But yeah, that was extremely creepy, and that's why I'm moving out of this property. I cannot stand this. I'm sick of being creeped out every single time I do anything, so yeah, that's all. Hope you learned something from this. See ya.